Okay, hi guys, this is Ian back with another live stream, and today I am going to compare headphones, right? So I'm not going to compare IEMs, all right? And the two headphones that I'm going to compare, the HIFIMAN, okay? Just pause this. Okay, so there you go. The HIFIMAN Sundaras versus the Edition XS. Okay, so these two headphones are from HIFIMAN, and which I have already reviewed. I just recently reviewed the the Sundaras. And if you guys are interested to watch that full review, you can click up on the link above, and also the review for this Edition XS. So in this video, I'm going to listen to 3 songs, and then I will decide which one I prefer based on what I listen to. For this video, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a twist. I'm not gonna give it a score, so it is kind of pointless to give it a score, I feel. So I'm just going to give it a red or a blue flag or fill color. And red means that is not the headphone that I prefer, and blue is the one that I prefer. Okay. So just a quick disclaimer. This video is mainly for entertainment. It's not a deciding video on which one is better. Okay. And also is based on my listening preference. It may be different from yours, so just take it with a pinch of salt, right? Yeah. So let's just go through a very quick, introduction of these two headphones. The Sundaras, they are retailing for $330, if I'm not wrong. Okay, and it's been out. This is the latest model, which is the 2020 model, right? And yeah, it's kind of an updated model. And the Edition XS is retailing for about $500. Okay, and it's pretty new, right? The ear cups on each. The comfort on the Edition XS, I would say, is better. It's got a bigger ear cup as compared to the Sundaras. Sundaras tend to have a more roundish type of ear cup, and this one is more of a egg shape type of ear cup. And to be honest, it's more comfortable on the ear. It covers the entire ear. In fact, it goes all the way down to my jaw. And I kind of like this one. It's more comfortable. The Sundaras, the ear cups, they don't really cover to. Let me just show you guys. It don't really cover all the way to the bottom of my jaw. Okay, so it goes up to here. Okay, and it touches my ear just that little bit. So in terms of comfort, it's not as comfortable as the Edition XS. Okay, so the Edition XS is more comfortable to my ear, and I would prefer the comfort on this. Is even though the headband on the Sundaras are nicer, right? It's got this nice leather headband on this here, and yeah, I think it's kind of a give and take. It's either this or this, but ear cups wise, I prefer the Edition XS. Okay, so let's just go to the audition page. All right, and let's begin the audition. Okay, so first up is a song called Bésame Mucho, and by Evora. Okay, and I'll listen with the Sundaras. Okay, All right. So, by the way, I'm listening on my iFi Zendeck 2, and the power match is on, right? Because these headphones are pretty hard to drive. So I have to turn on the power match at the same time I'm listening to at about 50%, maybe more, about 55. And the true bass is off, obviously, so no bass added. Okay, so let's begin the first song. Okay, very nice and warm tone to the bass, the sub bass. The guitars are nice and clear. You know, in this song you have the guitars playing. Imaging is pretty okay. Yeah, I can. It's kind of a bit out of the head. Okay, so Ivora starts to sing. You can hear that mellow, deep, mellow voice. Very, very nice and rich and lush. Forward, okay, her voice has got a very nice tone, very nice timbre. Clarinets do sound very nice and clean as well. So I think very, very nice and soothing, right? For this song. This song is supposed to give you that soothing feeling while listening to it. Kind of puts me to sleep, but is a very nice soothing song. Treble is nice and clean. So I think in terms of let me just give the sub bass the color that I want. Sorry, not yellow. So I give it a blue. All right, not blue. Okay, and not much of an impact on this song in terms of the mid bass, but I can feel that nice low impact of some of the key strikes. All right, so I'll give it the mids. I don't know, I might hold on to the mids. So soundstage is pretty good. You know, imaging is quite precise, and the detail retrieval is okay. Very nice. I really like the tone and the timbre on this. So let's pause this song and change out to the Edition XS. Okay, so let's listen to the Edition XS, right? And restart the song and listen to the song again. Oh, gotta change the jack. Okay, let's change out the jack. Okay, so let's restart the song and let's go. Okay, so immediately I can hear the bass is not as rich, it's not as lush, it's not as heavy in terms of the note weight as compared to the Sundaras. So yeah, I would prefer the sub bass and the mid bass on the Sundaras. Okay, the guitars, they sound very nice and clean. The clarinet sounds very nice and clean as well, but they lack that tone and the timbre and that deep, rich, lush feel. Especially when Ivora sings, you know, in the Sundara she sounds very nice and lush and it's got very nice tone to her voice. But Sundaras, they have that nice soothing sound, and I would give the mids to the Sundaras. Okay, But the Edition XS, it sounds cleaner. It sounds a little bit thinner, a bit lighter, and a bit more precise. But in terms of tone and the timbre, I will give it to the Sundaras. Okay. Wrong color, sorry. There you go. Now, the Edition XS, they sound brighter, okay? The treble sounds cleaner, definitely. So I'll give the treble to the Edition XS. Where's my blue? Okay. And the soundstage on the Edition XS, they sound wider. And it's got better layering. When it comes to the guitars and the clarinets and some background sound, I can hear the layers of it. And also the wideness of the soundstage. It sounds wider on the Edition XS. So I would give the soundstage to the Edition XS. And micro details and overall resolution, I can hear this sounds cleaner. Edition XS sounds cleaner, sounds more precise. So I would give the detail and resolution to the Edition XS. Okay. Okay, so let's pause the song, right? And let's move on to the next song, right? So the next song would be Taquito Militar, and this is an instrumental song. Yeah. Hang on, let me just take a look at the comments. Your previous review of the Sundara says it's on the warm side. Many say it is bright. Yes, it is bright. YQZFSHNJ. Okay, it is bright, right? So in terms of warmth, okay, it's not the treble. Okay, when I say that it's warm, I mean the tone and the timbre of the headphone. Right, how heavy the note weight is, how thin or dry or airy it sounds. If it's bright, I'm referring to the treble. So if it's bright, it means that you can feel that the treble is forward. You can feel that the bass is not as much as the treble in terms of the balance in the entire tuning of the headphone. So I think when I say warm, yeah, it's warm in terms of the tone and the timbre, not so much on the treble. Okay, right, so let's move on to the next song, and that would be Taquito Militar, and I'm gonna switch on to the Sundaras. Okay, and let's go. Okay, so again, I need to switch out the plug. All right. Okay, let's go. Okay, so this is an instrumental song with a lot of flute and drums. The opening of the song is the flute and guitars. So it's a lot of tapping of the drum and the guitar, strumming of the guitar. I would say it's got a nice note weight to it, and again, that thump is there. Okay, so there's a little bit of thumping of the drums. So the thumb is pretty forward and pretty impactful. Okay. I would say the imaging of this song is pretty okay. I can hear the flutes on this side, the guitars on this side. And layering is reasonable. It's good. So instruments are pretty forward, okay, no doubt. And the note weight of that flute, I can hear is pretty, well, nice and soothing. And the drums as well. The rumbles there, okay, pretty extended. Somehow I find that the treble is, after listening to the Edition XS, I find that the treble is a little bit muted compared to the Edition XS. Okay, so I think let's pause the song. Let me just listen to the Edition XS, then I can give my score to which one I like. Okay, so let's remember to switch out the plug this time. Okay, so let's reset the song, okay, and let's listen to it again, this time on the Edition XS. Okay, so in terms of the mids, I can hear immediately that the mids are more forward on the Edition XS. Again, it's not as warm, it's not as heavy note in terms of the instruments. It doesn't have that tone and that timbre that is pretty unique to the Sundaras. They've got very nice, lush, soothing tone and a timbre on the Sundaras, which the Edition XS does not have. And the bass as well is not as impactful, it's not as warm, it's not as forward. No, actually, the bass, sub bass is forward, but it's just it's a little bit dry, okay, as in terms of the note weight. But the treble is brighter, okay, so back to this topic about treble. So the Edition XS, they sound brighter in terms of the treble as compared to the Sundaras. And it's got a wider soundstage. I can hear, the imaging and the soundstage sounds more correct. It's got a wider soundstage as well. The layering of the instruments is pretty precise, and yeah. Okay, so let's pause this song and I'll give my rating. So I would give the sub bass. I'll give the sub bass and the mid bass to the Sundaras for this song. But for the mids, I'll give it to the XS. Okay, the reason being is that because this is purely on instruments, it's an instrumental song. There's no vocals on it, so I tend to listen out for the clarity of the instruments, even though they don't have that warmth as compared to the Sundaras, but they sound nicer to me in terms of the clarity and the precision and the resolution of the instruments on the whole. Okay, treble, I'll give it to the Edition XS, and the soundstage as well it's got a wider soundstage. And of course, overall, a better resolution and a better detail retrieval. Okay. So, yes. Let me just do my coloring. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next song. Right, so the next song would be Always Be My Baby. So this again is a vocal song, and I think without listening to the next song, I think you guys can more or less guess which one has got a better tone and timbre. But because this song has got female vocals in it. So let's see. I mean, there's a lot of higher frequency tones. So let's see which one can do better. All right. So first up is the Sundaras. Okay. Right. Okay. So next song is Always Be My Baby. Let me just find that song. Okay, somehow I misplaced it. Give me a second, guys. There you go. All right, Always Be My Baby. Let's go. Okay, opening keyboard. Nice. And Mariah sounds very, very soothing to listen to. Ooh, that deep rumble. So this song has got sub bass. It's got a nice deep rumble to it. Nice and controlled. And the impact is really good. Okay. Very nice controlled mid bass and the sub bass. Tone is there, the timbre is there. The strikes are true and correct. And Mariah sounds warm, lush, very good note weight to her voice. Even though she doesn't sound as, what is a, the sparkle is a little bit lacking in terms of her voice. Yeah, the sparkle is a little bit lacking. But she sounds warm, right? Nice and lush. I love her voice. The background singers, they do seem to blend in, not really separated. Yeah. Okay, so let's just pause the song. Hang on. The soundstage, I would hear that is more, she's more in the head, but instruments and the drums somewhere in front. It's good. The soundstage is a little bit on the sides and on the top as well. Okay, so let's pause this song. Okay, and let's move on to the edition access. Okay. Right, so okay, so let's restart this song and let's listen to it on the edition access. Let's go. Always Be My Baby by Mariah Carey. Okay, so immediately when the keyboard starts to play, I can hear the treble is brighter and that rumble. Okay, so that's the drums that came in. The rumble of that is not as lush, not as extended as the Sundaras. It's well controlled as well. It's not as impactful. So mid bass and the sub bass immediately is not as impactful as the Sundaras. And somehow Mariah sounds brighter, sounds more energetic. Yes, she sounds more forward, she sounds more energetic. And cymbal strikes, they sound cleaner. In terms of the background singers, the guitars, I can pinpoint where they are coming from or where they are located in the song in terms of the imaging and the soundstage. Definitely has got a wider soundstage. And yeah. Okay, so I think I've heard enough of the song and I can tell and give my score. Okay, so for the sub bass, I'll definitely give it to the Sundaras. Okay, for the mid bass as well, I'll give it to the Sundaras. For the mids, I'll give it to Edition XS, treble Edition XS, soundstage Edition XS, and detail and resolution Edition XS. Okay, so I guess you guys can more or less tell which one has got a better bass. Okay, let's just move on to the next one and finish my coloring while you guys enjoy the background music. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so that's the end of my audition of these two headphones. Right, so let's go to my conclusion. Okay, so let me just go to my main page here. Okay, so Edition XS here and Sundaras. Okay, let's talk about the sub bass and the mid bass. Right, sub bass and mid bass, I'll give it to the Sundaras definitely. They've got a nicer tone and the timbre and the note weight of the sub bass, and the mid bass just more pleasing to the ear. Yeah, the Edition XS, they do have that bass. On certain tracks, they have more quantity, but in terms of the note, the tone, they're a little bit lighter and drier as compared to the Sundaras. Okay, so yeah, mid bass and sub bass is Sundaras. Okay, that's my preference. For the mids, I would prefer the Edition XS. The Edition XS has got a more forward mids in terms of vocals. The instruments, they sound more forward. But in terms of the tone and the timbre, it's a little bit dry as compared to the Sundaras. Somehow the Sundaras have got this very nice tone and timbre to it. Even though it's not as resolute, it's just so pleasing to listen to and so soothing, that lush feel to it for the Sundaras. But in terms of clarity and the forwardness, I would give it to the Edition XS. I would prefer the mids on the Edition XS. That's just me, right? The treble, okay, treble definitely the Edition XS. They sound cleaner and it's got more energy. It's more forward and brighter, as I mentioned earlier. The Edition XS, they sound brighter. They've got a more extension to the treble. Sounds clearer, okay, in terms of the treble. For the overall soundstage, again, I'll give it to the Edition XS. It's got a wider soundstage. It's got a taller soundstage. It's got a deeper and layered soundstage. Imaging is better. Though, I mean, the Sundaras, the soundstage is not bad, right? I'm not saying it's not good on the Sundaras. They're good. It's just that the Edition XS has got a wider soundstage and a more surrounding sound, okay, as compared to the Sundaras. The detail retrieval and resolution, I think I'll give it to the Edition XS. The micro details and the nuance of some of the details I can pick up on the Edition XS, which I couldn't. In terms of comparison, the Sundaras, they sound a little bit more muffled, not as resolute as the Edition XS. So yeah, but Sundaras, they are clear, okay, in terms of resolution and detail retrieval. Don't get me wrong, they are good, right? They are not so muffled that, you know, it's you can't really tell apart the instruments. They are still resolute, okay, but compared to these Edition XS, they are not just as resolute, right? So yeah, so overall, which one do I prefer? Okay, now in terms of listening pleasure, right? I want to enjoy my music. I just want to sit down, relax after a hard day of work. Okay, I just want to enjoy my music. My choice would be the Sundaras. Okay, this will definitely be my choice. I don't want anything too bright. I just want to relax, listen to my song, and have a not so much of a fatiguing and stressful listen, right? So that would be the Sundaras, all right? That's my choice. But if I'm in a mood to really listen clearly to a song or a track, then it would be the Edition XS, right? That's my choice. They sound cleaner, they sound brighter, they sound more resolute, and overall a more cleaner and neutral type of listen. Okay, more energetic, I would say. Okay, so these are my thoughts and my conclusion of these comparing these two headphones. Again, I mentioned these are my personal preference. It may be different from yours, so just take it with a pinch of salt. Okay, so let's take a look at some comments, see if there's any comments I can reply to. Okay. Right, so that concludes my live stream yet again. So I thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this type of content, do consider to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in my next live stream. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.